This week on SailAway, nothing solidifies your bond with your boat like fueling up, gearing up, and sailing away. And while our newbie days of sailing are a couple decades behind us, we're still total rookies when it comes to sailing cats. It's a fairly light wind day, supposedly. I guess we'll see. You just never know. Stuff gets windy pretty quick. And it does. But what better way to test our theory that old cats just do some things better?
I hope you're nice and dry!
Despite how these two look right now, it's actually been pretty exciting. And maybe some other things not so much. But we get there with new knowledge and confidence.
Cheers.
And have just enough time to squeeze in some family fun before it's time for the Boatyard Blitz.
Ever wish you could escape normal life and experience more of the world?
So maybe on that island. Well, we did just that. We sold everything we owned on dry land and sailed away. Promise me that we'll sail away.
Now we are roaming the planet in search of new adventures and sharing it with you every week.
Just promise me that we'll sail away. So hit subscribe and escape normal with us. And I'll be yours forevermore. Come on, it's just that little button down there. That's it. When we first bought this boat, we had some ideas about why an old cat like this might just be better than the new breed in some ways. Most of those ways involving sailability. We were about to test those theories.
On the other side, yep.
Right now?
Yep.
This one, right?
That one says water.
This way?
That way, yep. Yes. Good job.
We were also very ready to make this boat feel more like part of the family. And there's no better way to bond with your boat than actually traveling on it. We were finally shoving off from Grenada and didn't know when we'd be back. Glad to see you're on duty. Yep, you good. Good job. Laura's turned over a new leaf today.
Sunscreen. That's the way to go. Learn my lesson.
This is just things you have to learn when you're new on a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bright and early. It's about 6:45. We are getting ready to sail. Yeah, look at that. There's a cruise ship out there. That's something we have never seen here before. But I'd heard that they were back. But we are heading up to Carriacou. And the reason we're up much earlier than we usually are is that the wind direction this week, it's not atypical, but it's a little more north most days and really, really light. Today is the only day that it's just a little bit southeast and decent. It's supposed to be about 12 knots. I don't think I saw anything more than 15 on it today, but you never know once you get out there. And going from Grenada to Carriacou, you're actually traveling a little bit northeast to get over there. So, you know, nice point of sail is if you've got a southeast wind, then you're theoretically a little more like a beam reach. I'm sure we'll be pointing a little bit today. It's just the way it always kind of works going from here north on this far southern end of the Windward Islands. But should be a pretty nice day. Got a lot of friends going the same way we are. Haven't seen them stir just yet, but I'm sure they're getting ready. Omani over here, Galaxy right behind them, Escape. Our good friends and Patreons, Heath and Casey. So yeah, we are all headed up to Carriacou together. We're all going straight to Sandy Island. There's 2 other kid boats there that we know. Yeah, we've got a few days before we have to haul out. I've got to get some work done, some work projects done before that, and we should have time to do all that. Go to Sandy Island, I can get some work done, get a little swimming in. Zeke can get some beach time. So now, just got to get some stuff uncovered. When Janto and other builders were drawing up catamarans in the early 90s, the idea of cruising cats as we know them today was still taking shape. Back then, the increase in usable space inside seemed monumental without even trying that hard. They were much more concerned with trying to build a boat that would sail as well as a monohull, they hoped, and not just straight-line speed on the perfect tack. Compared to newer cruising cats, they had narrower hulls, longer, deeper keels, and a sail plan and rig geared toward power. Shake our reef out. With systems and sail handling set up much more like a conventional monohull, the outsides of these boats were not set up to be cushy or necessarily even easy. That's about it. Get our halyard hooked up, and I think we're ready to go. They were designed first and foremost to sail. One cool thing we've discovered about cats is since they don't sway back and forth at anchor very much, hoisting the main before weighing anchor or letting go of a mooring ball is usually pretty drama-free. And it just feels nice to start the journey that way. We're doing 3.3 in 6.6 knots.
Yeah.
Getting juiced up, fueled up, ready to go. And just like that, we were testing a very important sailing characteristic. Light wind, upwind. That sail is dirty, but man, its shape is really good. Look at that. We've heard a ton of gripes about cruising cats that not only can you not sail upwind, but anything under 10 knots and you're pretty much a dead weight in the water. And with the very wide hulls, short keels, and overall weight of modern cats, it's really not surprising. Many just accept that anything under 10 knots of wind and the motors are coming on. We really don't want to think that way. We like to sail, and our motors are pretty old. We'd like to rest them as much as possible. In about 6 knots of wind, we were maintaining about 3 knots. That works for us.
I picked this one because it gives me lots of energy because it has sugar in it.
Right, yeah, the sugar definitely gives you lots of energy, as long as you don't crash too hard after.
Okay.
Well, you're headed that way, even though we're headed that way. I'm trying to get us a little offshore to try and maximize our wind. It's a fairly light wind day, supposedly. I guess we'll see. We get out in the channel, you just never know. Stuff gets windy pretty quick. Yeah, if it stays light like this, we want to be as far offshore of Grenada as we can without getting too far out, because we do have to sail upwind a little bit to get to Tyrrell Bay. So it's better to be moving than not moving, even if you have to sail upwind some. At least that's the theory. Cruising right along in some really light winds. And that was all I needed to say. 5 knots of wind was fun. Let's try 30. And this is one area where a lot of sailors take exception to how this old boat is rigged. None of that oh-so-convenient running the lines to the cockpit business on this boat. But the reefing system is really simple, it works really well, and it's really easy to fix if anything goes wrong. I'll happily trade dryness for simplicity. And then there's the exposed steering station. Now this does give an amazing sailing feel in good conditions. In these conditions, yeah, it sucks. Most definitely a big compromise and not for everyone.
Holy shit balls!
We've got some ideas to make it better though. Stay tuned. that's double reefed, upwind at about 45 degrees, and 20 plus knots. Oh yeah, and a bottom that's growing an entire ecosystem. We were pretty happy with that too. And in all these conditions, the autopilot was a champ. I didn't technically need to be out there, but I was having fun. And through all this was the inside situation.
Yep. Squall's happening, but we're still getting our schoolwork done.
And this is my last page. The last page.
We have light. Blue sky. Woo! Well, despite how these two look right now, it's actually been pretty exciting. It was a pretty big storm, and it wasn't just like a short squall. It lasted for a long time. At least the rain sure did. And I mean, it's blowing, still blowing 17. Yeah, we were up in the 25 to 30 knot range for quite a while. It's been great. We kind of got some ups during the high wind. We were able to point up higher. We got 2 reefs in, so that was a first for us. We reefed under sail. We did put in 1 reef first, and it went super smooth. We were sailing at about 45 to 50 degrees, so we're able to just ease the main out and pretty easily put the first reef in. And then the more I got to looking at it, it was looking real dark and real big, so we went ahead and put in reef number 2. I'm glad we did. And we shortened the head sail a little bit, not a ton. And it sailed great, man. It really did awesome. Not being familiar with what the boat was going to do, I did fire up our starboard motor, because under a ton of wind pressure, especially if you got the main trimmed a little too much, the first thing it wants to do with a lot of boats is head up. But on this boat, once it does that, you can't get it back. So I think that's probably just a catamaran thing. So I had the starboard motor fired up, but didn't really have to use it much. We kind of did a little bit when the first really big storm hit. That one was up above 30 for a while. And yeah, I just wanted to make sure I could keep the nose down just a little bit. Yeah, other than that, pretty much kept them off for the rest of the excitement. And yeah, good learning experience. I think we're starting to understand how most everything on the boat works, and gotten a really wide range of what the boat likes, because we were sailing in 5 knots of wind for a long time, and then we were sailing in 30 knots of wind for a long time. So it's been pretty cool to play with the sails and sort of figure it out. The sail's really well reefed, man. The sails look really good. The sail shape's nice. So yeah, big thumbs up. That's been pretty fun. I don't think we're out of the woods. It's looking pretty gray over there. I think we might get pounded by another one real shortly. So might have to reef that jib again. We are almost there. You just gotta thread that needle right there, come around, and that's Sandy Island. Yes, this is our nav right now. That one, screen is dead. You can read it at night. And that little one has no chart card. Happily, we have a new, to us, nav unit waiting for us at Lauren's parents'. Her dad's going to bring it with him to St. Thomas, along with a whole setup. We got a nav pod and a pedestal guard to mount it on. So I'm going to start refurbishing this entire area. Eventually I'll get around to fixing all this nonsense. Kind of beat up, holes drilled everywhere, tape, and we'll get that looking nice again too. But first, a nice pedestal guard and a nice nav unit. Sure as hell not sailing 9 days to the US without it. We also weren't going to sail 9 days without doing some serious work to the bottom of the boat. We'd never had her out of the water, but in just a few days we would, and our list was really long. So we decided to get some fun in now while we could.
Sundowner and Passage.
Well, it's
basically kind of Sundowner.
no, it's
That's
only
good now.
only
More
three.
passage drink.
Passage drink.
Whew, snacky passage drink. Hungry.
Speed wingy.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to a successful passage. What's the plan for today?
Hiking.
Hiking. How many of your friends are going to be there?
I don't know.
A lot.
Probably.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Even though you didn't want to go?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's go hiking.
I need my hiking shoes.
Yeah, get your hiking shoes on.
While I got some peace and quiet to do some audiobook work, the rest of the Kid Boat gang went on a long hike up to Anse-la-Roche. Sadly, this would be the last time Rivers got a chance to play with some of these Kid Boat friends, until our paths hopefully meet again along the way.
Well, there is a bar here. That's convenient. This was a hike and a half. 2 hikes, really.
Oh, bro.
Oh, bro, go ahead, you're fine. We're so far behind, I don't even hear them. But we did it! And it was pretty at Anse-la-Roche. Whew. I'm ready for a beer. Let's go! Let's go! We're coming, we're just slow. We haven't been lost. Go. Good afternoon. We are taking a little family trip to go snorkel. Rivers is so excited.
What? I don't even like it.
Then why do we live on a boat?
Why not that see new places?
Okay, well, today you're gonna see a new snorkeling place. We've only heard stories about over here this island that's behind us, and since we are leaving Hillsborough today is our last chance to go snorkel on it, so let's do it.
This is a snorkeling spot we've wanted to hit for a couple years now. Unfortunately, and likely due to the storms from the day before, it was pretty unsettled and not really a great snorkel day. But you know, it still beat a day at the office.
What'd you say? It's a good snorkeling.
Bye. Bye. Try again later.
that, it was time to wave goodbye to our friends, for how long we didn't know, and make our way around to Tyrrell Bay. Because in 2 days, it was time to haul this boat out for the first time. Our list of work to be done was probably optimistically long, and we didn't know what kind of surprises we might find. But it would be a very necessary step before our 1,800-mile journey north.